Hello there, neighbors. This is Jesse Bryant on the 22nd now of August. Yeah, it's midnight right now, and this is the day that I'm going to start school, by the way. So you know how things go. Any big event, a little bit hard to get rest beforehand. I guess I'll be burning the candle at both ends, so it'll be good practice for all those long nights of studying, right? Anyway, I had something interesting to report. I've been having an email conversation with Adam Kokesh, of all people. That's right, Adam Kokesh of AdamVersusTheMan.com. He's kind of a personal hero of mine, or at least somebody that I admire anyway. He used to have his own TV show on RT, and he's a pretty big figure in the liberty movement. He has a pretty sizable online following. I wish that I had his kind of following, or at least his numbers. Oh, I guess I should say the caveat of that is I wouldn't necessarily recommend him to everyone who might be listening to my channel. He's not exactly appropriate all the time in terms of language. And he's also a devout atheist and, in general, a anarchist. Now, of course, you'll have to understand those terms before you get the wrong impression about him. But anyway, so I was talking with him and, or I guess I should say messaging him, about the fact that he's decided not to go, or at least not to march on the RNC. You see, he had organized an event with Veterans for Ron Paul, an organization that he's been leading, and they were going to have a march in favor of Dr. Paul at the Republican National Convention. Here on the 27th, they were going to go and show that Ron Paul is the choice of the troops, because, you know, he did get more veteran donations than any other candidate in the Republican nomination process. Oh, he got more than Obama, too, by the way. All of them put together, in fact. So, you know, veterans, we usually get it. You know, Ron Paul understands. You know, for one thing, he is a veteran. For another thing, he understands that, you know, this whole idea that we're going to go to war for 10 years straight and we're going to send people back, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in a decade. So they spend half their life over there, overseas, living in just practically squalor, just horrible conditions, you know. I mean, plus you're away from your family, you're away from your friends, you're away from your natural home environment. It's just, you know, nobody would want to live that way for long, which is why I didn't re-enlist, you know, at least part of the reason why. The other being that I'm going to college now, so. But moving on, I don't know, I think I've convinced him, I don't know, hard to say, but I hope I've convinced Adam to just go ahead with it and do the march, you know. I mean, this is basically the last hurrah for the liberty movement. And I don't see eye to eye with, you know, Adam Kokesh on everything. I do on most things. I think he's a good thinker, even though, you know, his vocabulary could use a little bit of refinement maybe. I guess all of us could, you know, stand to refine ourselves a bit. But anyway, really though, when it comes to the Libertarian Party, Gary Johnson and Adam Kokesh and a bunch of other figures that they have, you know, I really like these guys. I really respect them. I don't agree with them on everything, of course, because I'm a conservative libertarian. I'm just a little bit different. But in general, we do generally line up in our thinking. Me personally, anyone who actually believes that human beings have free will and that we're meant to be free, anyone who believes that the government needs to be controlled and that it does not have godlike authority over us and our lives, you know, anybody who just generally accepts the idea that we have rights, that we do have natural rights, if they at least accept those things, then I consider them on my side. And we'll just go from there. You know, it'll be hit or miss on everything else. But whatever. You know, I advised him that as soon as the results are announced and Lord Romney is made the nominee, I told him that he should pull out a bunch of Gary Johnson signs and start bullhorning for the Libertarian Party in 2012. It'd be the perfect opportunity, because a lot of avid Paulites are going to go there and they're going to have their hearts broken when they find out that just by, their goodwill and their faith alone wasn't enough to, sway the cold hearts of the fake conservatives and neocons that have become basically the general Republican Party establishment. So I feel sorry for them, but hopefully we can snag some of them over into our movement. Basically the only thing that bothers me about Governor Johnson's positions is his abortion position. He did say that he fundamentally supports a woman's right to choose, not necessarily that he personally believes in it or would practice it. But, some libertarians think that that's a privacy issue. Not me, however. This is where I have, a discrepancy with him. Me personally, it would make me sick if I even harmed a child on accident, especially if I'd accidentally, crippled them or killed them. I think that would just, I'd want to die, Actually, I don't know. I'd be afraid to die. I'd be afraid of what would happen to me afterwards. I mean, what was it that Jesus said of those who would harm children? He said it would be better for him to be cast into the ocean with a millstone chained around his neck than to harm one of these little ones. Something along those lines. But the point is, yeah, that's somewhere you don't want to go. Yeah, so I don't really know where to go on that front. I mean, I kind of like Gary Johnson. I think he's a good guy. But to me, it's kind of important. So I'm halfway tempted to not vote for him and just write in Dr. Paul instead. But I don't know, I'll see. This is kind of a protest vote anyway, just voting against the two parties, the major parties who think that, they rule everything and that we're, basically stuck with them. So it would be good to stick it to them for a change. And I advise that everyone else who sees this video and everyone else that, you can share this video with, I'd advise you to do the same. If you don't want to vote for Gary Johnson, or if you don't want to write in Dr. Paul, well, I don't know what to say for you, but you could just write me in, write my name down. I'll take a hit for liberty, at this point. I'm willing, if we don't stand up right now when we have the chance, then yeah, we can just forget about it later on. But other than that, Gary Johnson is a sensible guy. He's a reasonable guy. And really, we've got three pro-abortion candidates in this race, because Mitt Romney was pro-abortion when he was a governor, and he's never been very strong on any conservative values. All you got to do is look up a few videos of him online. He comes out and says right in front of a camera that he is a pro-choice governor and believes in the right to choose. Obama, I mean, it's run the gamut with that guy. Anything goes. I mean, he's one of those do what thou will kind of guys. So you know what you got right there. Now, Gary Johnson, he does say that he's, pro-choice, but at least he has some kind of principles behind it, even though they're totally horrible and absolutely wrong. At least he believes in something, So, and on top of that, I don't think that he really supports or believes in abortion so much as he just understands that it's something the federal government can't handle. And I think what he wants to do is let the states decide it. Maybe it's that he thinks that it is an actual right. I don't. But, he also understands, I think, that we have a right to freedom of association. And those people who are involved in devious activities that we don't approve of, we don't have to associate with those people. It's their soul, it's their life. They can ruin it, but we do not have to participate, and we do not have to permit it within our own social spheres and our own lives. So maybe that's a good distinction to make there. Me personally, I'm still on the other side. I kind of feel like crusading on that issue in particular. I think life has to be protected, human life. I'm not going to get into it, at least not at this point. But things that have happened to me recently have made me realize that human life has to be protected, just for the potential of that life being redeemed. Anyway, that's about all I can think of to say right now, neighbors. So wish me luck for tomorrow. Wish me luck with my classes. And good night.